Could everybody stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Oceana County Board of Commissioners for January 12th of 2023. Roll call, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here. I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes from December 15th, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second, Hardy.
Moved by Beggs, supported by Mr. Hardy. Are there any discussions or comments? Yes, Mr. Morris.
Yeah, so I highlighted, now I gotta remember why I highlighted it. Motion 22-43, the fiscal year budget amendment. Oh yeah, I think I highlighted that because I wondered if it would be good to have the budget amendment numbers in the minutes itself. Like the actual amounts for the different departments.
Are you talking dollar amounts?
Yeah, like the departments and how much. It's not in there, it just has the motion. Cause usually like with our payment of claims, we put the category and then how much. You know, I think we should do that personally.
So when we do the motion, you want the department and the amount included?
Yeah, I think
and
it
if
should
so,
be in the minutes.
that won't be a problem.
Yeah, I think it should be in the minutes. Cause if I'm reading it 5 years from now, I'm going, you know, what were the funds that got, you know, adjusted? Not that I make a practice of reading 5 years later's minutes usually, but.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Morris?
Nope.
Do you want them in that set of minutes, or do you want them from this point forward?
From
I'd
this
say this
forward.
point forward.
Moving forward.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Moving forward. We have a motion and the support to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passed. Conflict of interest disclosure regarding any agenda items. Are there any conflict of interest for the board members? Seeing none. Changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Walker. There were no action on 2306 expedition costs, and I can continue on if you'd like. No action on 2310 transfer station gate fees, and no action on proposed community plan 2312 at this point, to bring up later.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Is there concurrence with Mr. Hardy on the removing those or taking no action on those three?
Yes.
You have a concurrence? With those items, there's no action on it. Do we have any other changes? Approval of the agenda.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Erickson.
I'll second.
Support by Mr. Beggs. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passed. Are there any public comments at this time? Mr. Morris, number 2023-5, proposed law firm for county council.
Chairman Walker, I make a motion 2023-05 to enter into a contract with Cole, Stoker, and Toski for county council services and allow the board chair to sign.
I'll second that.
Moved by Mr. Morris, second by Mr. Beggs. Discussion. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Thank you. And I would ask that the clerk send a letter to Gary Britton thanking him for his service to Oceana County. and informing him that we are moving in a different direction with our legal counsel.
Administrator?
Administrator,
Okay,
thank you.
yes.
Yeah. Unless the clerk wants to do that.
That's okay, I'll let her handle that.
So, but I think it's appropriate after all
Sure.
of these years to send Mr. Britton a formal letter that
Yep.
we're moving in a different direction.
I met Gary 30 years ago, and he's done a very good job.
Yeah. The next one's Corrections Officer request, Mr. Beggs, 2023-7.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, 2023-07, to approve the Sheriff's Department to add a corrections officer with a compensation package appropriate for the qualifications of the qualified candidate that they were able to find.
I'll second that.
Effective immediately.
I'm sorry. I'll second that.
I thought I was done too.
Discussion.
Could you add something in there with funds to come from the fund balance? Is that where you want those funds to come from?
With budget amendments to cover the funds when necessary.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
good.
if that could be added.
Undersheriff, please.
Thank you. Just from our previous conversation, as it relates to the budget in general, information that we received this week regarding secondary road patrol funding will be significantly increased in the years moving forward due to some legislation that took place last year. So we have an increase this year. It was budgeted for $50,000 revenue from state funding for that position, whereas in 23 we'll actually be receiving $78,652. So there's a significant increase in what was budgeted for revenue for that particular position versus what we're going to be receiving moving forward. So last year we received $64,253 for that position. So for this year, it's the net increase is $14,399. So for whatever it's worth, we're going to be offset at least $14,399 from what I could figure.
I guess I would caution that we better check to make sure we can use that secondary road funds. I don't think we can for anything else.
No. I'm just saying in
Yeah.
terms of the overall general fund
Sure.
budget.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank
just to
you.
clarify.
Right.
Mr. Beggs, would that be acceptable to you that we'll do budget amendments to cover the cost?
Yes. Yep.
You know, when after we get our fiscal year 2022 done, we'll do what we have to do to cover the
Yep.
cost at that time.
Correct.
Mr. Hardy, are you agreeable with that
I'm
on your
agreeable,
second?
yep.
Are there any other questions? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Morse?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, with the concern that please bring these to us at budget time in future budget years, not 2 months later. So, thank you. Mr. Erickson, MDOT contract with the Council on the Aging, 2023-8.
I move to adopt the project authorization Oceana County Board of Commissioners for year 2023 Specialized Services Operating Assistance Program contract and allow the chair to sign.
Do we have a support?
I'll support that. Morse?
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Morse?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Erickson. Mr. Morris, transfer station dumpster fees, 2023-9.
Mr. Chairman Walker, I make a motion to approve the increase in dumpster fees as provided by American Classic.
Do we have a support?
I'll support Hardy.
Moved by Mr. Morris, supported by Mr. Hardy. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Yes, Mr. Erickson.
Chairman, as we move forward then with American Classic, the scales, the cleanup of the yard, all these things are moving forward then?
There has been a little bit of a lull over the holidays on things going on, and from the county's standpoint, what we are waiting for is the information from American Classic on the three-phase power that they want extended down there. And I had a conversation a week and a half ago or a week ago about it with Scott, and I told him I cannot fill out that application for Great Lakes Energy for the extension of three-phase power until you tell me how much three-phase power you need. Because, as I said before, I don't understand three-phase. You know, I can plug in an electric light and I can turn on a switch, but I don't understand three-phase. And I don't know what type of compactors they have, and I don't know what type of grinders they have. So that's what we're waiting for on our end. But other than that, Tracy has been in conversation. You
Yep.
know.
So Lola, who is, she is a part of American Classic. She deals mostly with the grant writing and recycling piece for them, is working on a grant that would help with upgrades to the transfer station area and bringing in more recycling into that, into the transfer station as well. So she's working on that piece, but yeah.
Yeah, and as this moves forward, when we actually get into it, you will not recognize that transfer station by the way it's going to be set up. It's going to be a big circle drive in there. You're going to go across the scales. You're going to come back across the scales, going back out, and it's going to be all leveled off. And they know how to set up the bins for recycling. You go from one bin to the next, and how things have to be separated. They've got that over in Croton Township now, and Lola has been in recycling for years. So it's going to be a big project.
Showpiece.
Hopefully. No, but yes, it's still on the table. Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. I would just like to comment on the one that we took off the table. We'll probably need to bring that back at the next meeting if possible, because we just authorized American Classic to increase their fees, so our costs are gonna go up. So we're gonna have to look at this and come up with something reasonable on how we're going forward with it. So, that being said, Mr. Erickson, the Brownfield contract, number 23-11.
Brownfield, I move to approve the Brownfield agreement with Fishbeck to allow for completion of the Brownfield assessment.
Thank you. Do we have a support?
I'll support that.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Moved by Mr. Erickson, supported by Mr. Morris, to enter into the agreement with Fishbeck, Thompson, Huber, and Carr for the Brownfield assessment. And are there any questions? Ms. Byard, I believe that we did receive a grant to pay for the initial cost with that contract, did we not?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what the grant covers this.
The grant, the part of the 300,000 that we got?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So, any other questions on it? Roll call vote.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, thank you. Communication plan, Mr. Morris is gonna follow up on it. Mr. Hardy, payment of claims.
Moved, board approval of accounts payable, from January 12th, 2023. Ambulance fund, $12,692.59. FOC fund total $574.91. Pentwater Hart Trail fund total $4,368.74. Shelby Township Community Park fund total $4,748.75. Automation ROD fund total $1,731.60. Indigent Defense fund total $33,636.06. Canine unit $179.98. ARPA fund total $26,398.12. Department of Veterans Affairs fund total $6,715.43. Technology and Innovation fund $8,407.11. Foreclosure fund total $2,280.09. Building Department fund total $25,519.44. For a general fund total of $346,649.55 and a grand total of $473,839.37.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Do we have a support for the payment of claims?
I'll support.
Thank you, Mr. Biggs. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Morse?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, thank you. Reports from the commissioners. Mr. Beggs?
I don't think I have anything outstanding to report. Had an enjoyable meeting. Oh, Mr. Christians is gone. Sat in my first Pentwater Township meeting last night, and a nice group of people, and Ron just can't leave it alone, so he was there, and he was here again this morning, so it's
good.
Apparently it's gonna be hard to shake the habit. So pretty quiet. The road commission had 2 meetings since our last board meeting. They went through the Christmas blizzard and got things squared away, and then a week later it was all gone except for the largest piles, and but they did some good hard work throughout the weekend, and residual cleanup afterwards. So they're in good shape, and yeah, this week they were talking about grading gravel, so welcome to Michigan. So
figure.
That's about all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Beggs. Mr. Hardy?
I have nothing to report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Mr. Morse?
Yeah, the main thing I'll talk about is the planning commission meeting we had. We're doing the master plan, working on that right now, and there's been in my opinion, a disappointing number of people that have participated in the survey. So we had another effort to email that to as many email lists in the county as possible. Conservation district, our email lists, townships. So we're trying to, re-encourage people to fill out that master plan, because that's super important, of course. And then 2 weeks from today, Curtis Burdett, the new Bright Place, our new executive director, will be here. That's his plan anyway, to meet you guys. So looking forward to introducing him to you.
Thank you. Anything else for us?
No, thanks.
Mr. Erickson?
Yeah, a few things for everyone. Robert and I met with Mark Meyer and Life, and we still do need to work out some rough water with the interhospital transfers from both Spectrum and Trillium for a better representation in our county for our ambulance service. Our medical care, we're holding MetaCensus, I believe, at about 68 right now, 70, moving up towards that target number. Mr. Walker and I met with the administrator, and we did speak about the employee issues that we had during public comment in the previous couple of meetings, and we're working on that moving forward with Corey, our administrator. After our meeting, our December meeting, we did, a few of us met with engineer by the name of James Tiffany. We did a full inspection of the Crystal Lake Dam, and he's putting together a proposal for the county board for the repair of that dam. So I'm looking forward to that. It's very, very promising, and it's not as gloomy as what we had been foretold. Michigan State, like we had said, there's a wonderful thing going on out at the Peterson facility this afternoon in regards to our processors and our agricultural side of this. That is a good thing. Also, Art and Heart, they've got a winter golf outing if you're interested in playing golf. Supposed to play it in the snow, but if there's no snow, I think they'll figure out a way. And that in some regards to the Tin Man for downtown Hart they'd like to put down in the Commons. Other than that, sir, I think I'm pretty good.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Erickson. Again, I want to thank my fellow commissioners for allowing me to be the chair. I look forward to a very prosperous term for all of Oceana County. We have a lot of good things going on. And one of which is Mr. Morris. I know the Brownfield people have been out, the committee members have been out contacting the local units of government, and that was nice to hear that something is happening with Brownfield. We certainly have a need, you know, with the cleanup, you know, on some things that it's going to be really tough to do without Brownfield. So I have nothing else. Public comments. Public comments? I thank our audience for being here, and I believe we are adjourned.